So, uh, good morning and welcome to another edition of FlashTube. It's a service supply chain educational series brought to you by Flash Global. We're glad you could make it this morning. I know there's a few friendlies out there, so good morning to everybody. And as a reminder, when you come in, you are on mute, but you can unmute yourself at any time. You can jump into our conversation at any time. We would prefer that you did. Any questions you have or any good jokes, we're always welcome to entertain. So for us, the collaboration is the most important thing. And today we're going to be presenting service supply chain technology options. And for us, and you, anytime you've got a significant challenge globally, right, we're always looking for technology to help us, advance our business, streamline operations, reduce cost, great things. So we know there's a lot of questions out there. We talk to people today about what are the options and how does this work and how do you weave in trade compliance with global inventory management and all these various facets. So we want to talk to you a little bit about some of the things out there. So we'll jump in a little bit. Very quickly, introductions. My name is Ryan Miller. I'm the Vice President of Global Marketing. And Chris Gifford, can you introduce yourself this morning?
Hi, I'm Chris Gifford. I'm the Director of Software Development. I oversee all software development on the FlashTrak Star and FlashTrak platforms.
And Chris, you've been with us how many years now?
I've been at Flash for 6 years.
6 years, that's great. And I know for all intents and purposes, you're very, proud of the work that Flash has done with technology over the last few years. And in my eyes, I've only been here for 3 years, a little over 3.5, I guess. You guys have really, been on the front lines of the technology required to make service supply chain work. So it's pretty interesting and great to see what you guys have done.
Thanks. Yeah, it's the platform is really a differentiator.
So we're going to walk through just a little bit about who we are. And guys, this is not about us necessarily, but we just want to let you know our lens, how we look at things, and what we're up to. Talk a little bit about the challenges that you face. And of course, this would be a great opportunity for you to share anything that we've missed. Of course, there's lots of them, but we just grabbed the big ones. And how service supply chain technology can help. Specifically in today, right, you've probably seen the agenda when you registered and all that stuff, but what to look for, right? So a lot of prospects and customers we work with, they don't necessarily know even what's possible. So we'll walk you through a couple critical areas of what to look for, what to ask for, some of the technology platforms to consider, then benefits and outcomes, right? What happens when you implement all these things? And then of course, Chris is an expert in many things. Underwater basket weaving, Chris, did I get that right?
Correct.
Good. That's a good one too. But obviously the technology itself, functionality, and maybe even a little bit of the future of it. So we'll kind of go in there. So about us, right? So this is ultimately everything that you have going on in your world today. These are the various, we kind of have the gear systems going on, things that you have to deal with in order to get your service logistics to work. So it's probably, and again, we've worked with hundreds of customers over the last, many years. It's probably pretty fragmented, right? You have somebody maybe doing a little trade compliance, maybe some people thinking about, technical services, which include things like repair. Hey, how do we implement that? How do we manage it? Of course, the service logistics, you probably have somebody looking at, inventory and trying to figure that out. So it's usually pretty fragmented when we start working with companies. And really what we do is we take that and we simplify it. We put it all together. Just one continuous end-to-end solution. So really that's going to be the most that we do about us in our core and how we operate. We do serve, about 10 specific industries, typically in the, high-tech, medical, and things like that, where there are mission critical deliveries where, 2 hours of downtime can be an absolute killer. So any questions about anything so far? And again, you have to hit the little mute button if you have anything. Excuse me. Great, we'll go on. So some of the things that we've learned over the years of doing this are definitely your challenges. And the good part about a lot of our organization is we've been on your side. A lot of people in leadership, a lot of people in operations and all that have seen it on the front lines. So we know these are some of the things that probably keep you up at night, right? Especially the visibility, right? Where are my parts? How many do I have? Can I get them to my customer within the SLA? A lot of times it kind of leads to this, right? I don't know. I'm frustrated. I can't get everything that I need to where I need to. I've got customers now who may be frustrated with me, which of course affects brand reputation, visibility, all those things. So we really want to, kind of assimilate with you to let you know we live it every day, but on the other side of the fence, right? Trying to solve these problems. So some of the ways you can do that is, of course, through technology. Now, one thing I want to share with you is we found a little stat here that's, we believe, so fully integrated companies are outpacing non-integrated companies by 20%. Integration of all those parts, remember those gears that kind of bubbled up a little bit? All those parts have challenges and gaps if they're not connected, right? Again, it's even just the communication. Hey, trade compliance, or maybe we don't know much about trade compliance. I don't know. How is that working with, identifying all the various spare parts and products you may have? Is it a dual use product versus non-dual use? I mean, all these things when they're fragmented, it causes a lot of challenges, right? So we're all about the integration and unity of what is a very complex post-sales supply chain. So for us, it's an exciting and intimidating time for a lot of our customers. We're here to help you own it. So you have a lot of options, right? So this is just a little smattering of some of the WMS and TMS systems out there. You have roughly 50 choices. Now, this is a list that I've said that the 50 is segmented down based on the number of users that you can have, kind of the size of the WMS and TMS companies that would typically serve you and your organization. So there's about 50. Now, the one challenge with this, though, is very, very, very few of them can actually handle the 2 and 4 hour delivery, right? That's where it becomes complicated. A lot of systems out there, right? There's warehouse management for everything, especially these days in our on-demand world. But it's that 2 and 4 hour delivery that you guys depend on in many situations that every single platform will fail you on, except for one. Of course, we'll get to that. So if you think about all this, then you layer in all of this, right? So then you've got your 3PL providers, which some of those are included in the last slide, that you need to consider, right? It's like, well, okay, now we have the transportation piece, then we've got the logistics piece, then we have the trade piece, then we have, all these variables. How do you sleep at night when you're trying to manage all this, right? And you may be part of a large team, a small team, either way, it causes challenges. So of course, one of the biggest risks here is just human and technical error, right? How do you reduce that? How do you minimize that? And what we know is that leaders such as yourself are left with gaps, blind spots, and frustration. In many, many, many cases, that can be alleviated pretty quickly with the right decisions. So one thing we want to make sure you guys are always looking at when you're going to choose a platform to help you scale your service supply chain is the integrations, right? The integration makes all the difference in the world. So whatever you pick, just make sure it can connect with your transportation carriers and obviously with your ERP, CRMs, and things like that. So any questions, comments at this point? Okay, great. We'll keep going. So I'd like Chris to kind of step in. So guys, we did talk a little bit about some of the technology platforms. There are a lot of options, and I don't want you to think that this is any sort of bait and switch, but there is no other tool that can actually handle everything you need with that 2 and 4 hour next business day and all the immediate mission critical deliveries that you guys require. And FlashTrak is that one. Chris?
Hi, thanks, Ryan. As Ryan pointed out, we built this custom platform that's really been nurtured to this industry. Unlike all the ERPs and WMSs that Ryan mentioned, they all tend to serve many industries. Well, this platform that we've built here over the years has been geared explicitly for the service logistics and spare parts logistics business. It started out as a tool to fill a gap that in an industry that didn't have this sort of a platform. The history of FlashTrak dates back to the early 2000s when they were working as a courier service that started doing some service stuff for Motorola, and then eventually was even servicing AOL just network points that were stored in spare closets in hotels and office buildings. Our delivery agents were going out and dropping parts off to technicians to repair those places back in 2001, 2002. And what came out of those early findings were a need to track parts at this level across not only an internal network, but a partner network. The one thing that the other ERPs or other WMSs do that, or don't do that we do is, besides the 2 hour and 4 hour, is to be able to connect up all partners like this. We have tools that are spread out throughout the world, being used by a litany of partners that allow us to all be on the same platform and ensure that anything going through FlashTrak has the same milestones and the same processes being applied to it. The core functions of FlashTrak are inventory management, order management, reporting, ease of connecting the agent or the partner invoices and the partner submissions through our finance tools and out to the customer fairly seamlessly. That's one of our stronger points. Those are generally our core competencies. We also have, as Ryan will touch on, Trak Star, which is our warehouse processing arm that really handles all of our shipping, all of our picking, and our packing process.
So one of the things that's important that Chris mentioned here is there was no tool that could really handle the complicated, environment that you guys live in, right? And thankfully, if any of you have met our CEO, Sam Michaels, he has a long history of being on the customer side in your shoes. And when I was actually interviewing with him back in the day, one of the things he told me and many others was, I set out to build the solution or design the solution that I could never find. Right, so a lot of these things have come from that kind of blood, that kind of passion to say, okay, what's it going to take? So Chris and his team have been leading the path to developing systems that really can handle all of those technical needs. So Chris, can you tell us a little bit about the FLPN system here?
Yeah, one of our major distinguishers is what we call our FLPN, which is simply a flash license plate number. What this number allows us to do, it's a proprietary logarithm we use to identify the customer, the location, and it's used to map all unique attributes to a part, basically giving us a unique identifier to any unique part in our system. This backbone, this is really the backbone of our Trak Star system. It's used in receiving through our network. It's used in picking parts off the shelf and packing parts. It really is a big distinguisher for us because it gives us operational efficiency. These numbers allow us to uniquely identify a part based on what's on our pick slip. Instead of having to look for a particular serial number and part number or lot number or batch number, or the operator on the floor is able to easily identify these barcodes, and they're able to scan them from a distance of, I believe, 20 feet away.
Great. Any questions on that? Okay, great. So I want to talk a little bit about the integration of the IOR and EOR functionality through a single platform. Now, we're proud to say that we use Precision as a technology platform that specializes in trade compliance management, right? So if you're aware and if you deal with this on a day-to-day basis, you know that the trade compliance, bucket, if you will, is a challenge in many ways, right? You have to have a little bit of expertise. You have to have willingness to do some research. If you don't have a partner or anybody helping you with that, classification of products is incredibly important. And then also understanding your network of where things need to go and when and how. And then also, of course, that's going out of the country and then back into the country. There's a lot of variables. So one of the things that we love is the ability to do all these things with our partnership with Precision. And what's nice there is you don't have to do a whole lot once you give us the original master parts list and all the other ECN codes and different data that we need to be able to run your program. But we're able to do a lot of this right through FlashTrak, right? So you can validate, create, and then help control costs, mitigate risk, ensure all your shipments meets international trade regulations and so on and so forth. So for us, this is one that we love working with our customers with, because in almost every situation, that's where we get to see the big, right, the deep breath. Okay, I feel better about this, right? Because it is a challenge. And as you know, if you don't, just know that there are implications to you personally and to your company if this is not done properly. So we love to come in and make sure that we're your Teflon, right, to make sure that everything is protected and done well. So if you guys have questions about trade compliance things, I highly encourage you to reach out to us, because we can, again, even if you don't work with us, we'd love to talk to you, make sure you're doing some of the right things, and know that a single platform can actually help you manage all this. So I'm going to have Chris kind of walk you through a little bit, but this is ultimately your experience inside of FlashTube.
Yeah, Ryan, what you're showing there is just different devices popping up FlashTrak. That's our platform that we talked about before. What you see on the left there is, I believe, I'm trying to zoom in there a little, sorry about it, is a customer view. FlashTrak is built on two views. We have an internal view that's for our internal FlashStaff users and our partners to transact on all the orders, things like everything from creating inbound alerts to doing the receiving to shipping to invoicing. That can be done through our internal tools. It's also dashboards too that allow for visibility across the network for all orders. The customer site that you're seeing here is a smaller, slimmed down portal version that usually has a base of functionality determined by the customer themselves. It's all configurable. You can offer different levels of access based on whatever levels your company needs. You can have custom roles, custom menus built to that, everything from order procurement to inventory placement creation and inventory editing to reporting that you can see here. Ryan, if you want to go to the next slide, we can talk about some of those things.
Yeah.
Thank you. As you can see here, this is our internal tools, and this is used by both our partners. This particular tool is used by both our partners and our internal teams, and this is to control some of the things that Ryan was talking about. That's handled as part of the precision process, and that is IOR, EOR, and compliance documentation. These two tools that are being displayed there are both used to set up business rules in our system around when a compliance document is required. In particular, these tools are used in our Latin America and in Brazil GRU location to manage nota fiscales, which are an import-export document that's required for everything moving in out of Brazil. The team can go in here, look at a customer setup, and base it on their service types, their order types, and then a variety of other factors to determine when a requirement should trigger them to get this document and upload it into the system to proceed with shipping. Some of the other tools you'll see here are reporting. I know Ryan will touch on this in a little bit deeper, but one of the things that we're very proud of there, as you can see highlighted, is Domo SSO. And what that is that's the ability for to log in directly to our cloud BI partner right through the FlashTrak portal. That's just one tier of reporting we have. As you can see here, we have some online reporting that's accessible on demand. We also have a wide array of schedule reporting that's sent out on a daily and even bi-daily process, or weekly process sometimes. You know, we're moving towards becoming a very becoming a very analytical driven system. And the first step we're taking to doing that is leveraging tools like Domo, and Ryan will show you that a little bit later. Some of the other things we touch on are just some real basic core functionality, and our whole process really starts about an MPL, as Ryan mentioned. MPL is the entry into our system. It's introducing your inventory into FlashTrak. From there, it builds up to being, you know, receiving positions being created, or alerts or ASNs, to them being received into inventory. These tools here manage not only the setup of those part templates and the exceptions that happen during an inbound process, but they allow the inventory team to keep a strong monitor of what's going on, whether it's coming in and out into the warehouse or out of the warehouse. And so these tools really are the start of it. They also, you know, we also have the wide array of order processing tools that are a lot aligned and along the same lines, excuse me, in regard to giving that visibility to where your inventory, where your order, where your transaction is inside of the Flash network at any given time, and the ability to address any need or any correction you have on there.
Yeah, so, you know, obviously there's a lot in here, and you can see, you know, on our index there's a whole lot more options and abilities, and we can kind of, you know, build that out for you based on your requirements. Chris is wrestling. And then, you know, anything that you need as far as the customizations, we can roll these in, roll these out. Ultimately, in the spirit of the holidays, of course, making things as easy as pie. If you're like me, I love it. So, we touched on reporting a little bit, and one of the things that, you know, Chris said it well, we're proud of it. It's world-class reporting delivered through Domo, which is a very, very robust enterprise reporting tool. Gives you guys 24/7 access. You don't have to wait for your partner to give you a report. You can run them whenever you want, however you want, and then of course we'll help you if you have custom requirements, right? We can help you with those as well. So just some samples, right? We can see, you know, some of this is all kind of cycle count stuff, but by location, you can measure obviously, you know, various time frames, month over month, year over year, hour over hour, whatever you'd like to look at. And again, you can build your own dashboards. And I've been a student of Domo for just a few months, and I can tell you that it's pretty dang easy to build what you're looking for. So that's good stuff there. Any questions on sort of the FlashTrak infrastructure and then reporting? Okay, great. Barreling through. So of course, right, here's the value to you. All the things that we know are your challenges, all the challenges that you probably face on a daily basis are now tangible opportunities, right? We're always looking for that smiley face. So being able to walk you through, again, a lot of the challenges you have on a day-to-day basis, a lot of those go away, right? With the right technology implemented, with the right infrastructure set up, and, you know, ultimately your challenges are our opportunities as well. Right? Because we want to build an excellent platform that continues to serve you from now until, you know, your retirement, which hopefully has lots of promotions between here and there. So we'll leave it open. That's really it, guys. We're always short and sweet and to the point here, but we'd love to know if you guys have any questions, comments, answers, anything like that. Okay. Kate, is there anything in the Q&A section?
Nope.
Okay, very good. Well, with that, I would really like to just say thank you for attending, spending a little bit of time with us this morning, afternoon, or wherever you are. And I always encourage you guys to just stay connected to us for whatever reason, if anything, just to continue to learn a little bit about this industry. We do a lot of publications on our blog, which which we release through all of our social channels, that really arm you with the things you need to continue to dominate in this space. And we will send you a follow-up email with this presentation.
I'm getting a bill from ADT, says we owe them $90. Recurring charge is $90.99.
And that's about it. So
What is that? Is that phone?
ADT. No.
Hey, great work, Ryan and team. Thank you very much. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, Kate.
thank you very
Thanks,
much.
guys.
Okay, guys.